जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Gurudev. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमान हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमान हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे. श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय. समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीं कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः नाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रे. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all to today this morning regular Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta is part of Bhagavatam. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Without Bhakta Bhagavat and Book Bhagavat. So Prabhupada is the Bhakta Bhagavat. Without Bhakt, so there is no Bhagavatam. So of course Krishna himself is enough, but his energy is coming as his devotees. So today is being Ekadasi, we read Prabhupada Lilamrta, which is we'll be reading, continuing from the last class. I think His Grace Radha Prabhu given, so we'll continue from there. Just few points. So where we are, just I will present here. So we are studying volume 1. That is basically about Srila Prabhupada, a biography of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this is the book, volume 1, is the second and enlarged edition being presented by Saswarupa Dasa Goswami. He is one of Prabhupada's disciple. After Prabhupada leaving, so he has compiled this Lilamrta. So right now we are reading the chapter 17, that is on the Bowery, which is the Bowery is a place in near New York actually. So today's topic basically covering is in 1966, Prabhupada there where he actually went to USA in 1965, and I think almost 1 year. So where he is trying to connect west to east. This is the essence of this today's topic. His main teaching is that making mankind may come closer to God by reading His holy name, by chanting Krishna's name. So all the people comes closer to Lord. Of course, Prabhupada was struggling. He was struggling to get funds. He has written to Indian government. He didn't get any money. They written bluntly that you have to find yourself locally. Then Prabhupada established the ISKCON, so International Society for Krishna Consciousness there in the New York. So we'll be going through that. So as I said, there is no difference between Book Bhagavat and Bhakta Bhagavat. So Srila Prabhupada is the one. He is the Bhakta Bhagavat is a part of Book Bhagavat. So what we have completed, this total chronology of these chapters, titles, starting now 17th chapter we are. So coming from 1 to 17, there are different things passed through that, starting from his childhood. Prabhupada went to his college, his marriage, and his Gandhi's movement, and a very nice saintly person. I think, I don't know with whom he was talking. How shall I serve you? Srila Prabhupada asked his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, how I serve you? I think there Bhakti Siddhanta said, whenever you get money, print my books and go to Western countries and teach. Then the war in Calcutta, there is a war. An unknown friend. Then Jhansi, he started the League of Devotees there in Jhansi. New Delhi is crying alone in the wilderness, so he was trying to preach there, going each and every place, even the tea stall, everywhere. The resident of Vrindavana, he was in Vrindavana, there. This momentous hour of need, I don't know, I don't remember what was that. the dream come true. So he went to USA, the journey to America after struggling a lot of things. One, to get the ticket in the cargo ship, requesting Sumati Murarji. So after a long chase, he got the finally approval, and he traveled the journey to America. Then he went to Butler, Pennsylvania, the first testing ground. He didn't have anybody there. There is no planning, just depend on Krishna. Very small money, is having 40 rupees, struggling alone there. It will not be possible to assist you, because he has written some letters to his god brothers, etc. So to help him, so he got a replies that they cannot help him. What is that? Free to preach. So he is now free to preach. So he didn't have any links, god brothers, etc. Now he trying to do it. Now he is on the Bowery. So that is where we will read from today. So there is so many other chapters. Let's not get into, maybe by yourself you want to see later. So what is the recap? What happened? Last class, Radhakant Prabhu was reading. This was the one. In April 1966 it happened. Mike Grant was mentioning about, despite the, let me see, I'll increase this. Despite the bad neighborhood, because where Bowery is a very bad location, lot of dunkers and the roamers, so like some places you see in Bombay, like that. Despite the bad neighborhood where Prabhupada lived and walked, he was rarely disturbed. Often, of course, Prabhupada never got disturbed with such things. Often he would find several Bowery bums asleep or unconscious at his door. So though there are a lot of, these people they're drunk and they used to sleep. Prabhupada, there's no place to go into his inside the room. Unconscious at his door, and he would have to step over them. He used to go over them, like our Shastra says you should not jump over, but what to do? He cannot disturb them, so he will do like that. Sometimes a drunk, simply out of his inability to maneuver, would bump into him, or a derelict would mutter something unintelligible or laugh at him. The more sober ones would stand and gesture courteously, ushering the Swami into or out of his door at 94 Bowery. He would pass among them, acknowledging their good manners as they cleared his path. Whenever someone gives away, Prabhupada says, "Oh, very nice, you have given away." Otherwise many people, they don't even bother when he is coming. So certainly few of the Bowery men and others who saw him on his walks knew much about the small elderly Indian sadhu dressed in saffron and carrying an umbrella and a brown grocery sack. So he always keep umbrella, etc., because there it suddenly can rain there. So sometimes Prabhupada would meet one of his new friends on the street, Yan, like Radhakant Prabhu also mentioned there. Generally, though it is mentioned Jan, so but the pronunciation we say it is Yan actually. Michael Grant's girlfriend met him on several occasions as he was out walking. Yan, I would see him in the midst of this potpourri of people down there, walking down the street. He always had an umbrella, and he would always have such a serene look on his face. He would just be thinking his afternoon chants, walking along, sometimes stepping over the drunks. And I would always get sort of nervous when I would meet him on the sidewalk. She used to walk sideways because she doesn't want to come closer to him because he may ask something. He would say, "Are you chanting?" And I would say, sometimes. And then he would say, "That is a good girl." So that was the last topic Radhakant Prabhu was reading. So we'll start from here. So let me open my This one, the laptop itself. So this is where Radha Prabhu stopped. So let us read from here after that. Sitting cross-legged, his back to the shelf with its assortment of potted plants, a whitish chadar wrapped in wide, loose folds across his body. Prabhupada looked grave, almost sorrowful. The picture and an accompanying article appeared in a June issue of the Village Voice. The article read as so. Prabhupada always very grave, you must have seen his photos, pictures, etc. Very grave. So, the meeting of the mystical West and practical East comes alive in the curious contrast between A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami and his American disciples. So he is mentioning East to West actually. So all these Western people, they are very, the so-called Western culture, and the Eastern people, they are more of, dharmic and spiritual. So Prabhupada went there to preach them. So such a fallen souls there. So, of course you have seen the result. So this came in the journal there. The Swami, a cultivated man of 70 with a distinguished education, is here for a year to preach his gospel of peace, goodwill, nearness to God, and more practically to raise money for his American church. Like his teachings, the Swami is sensible and direct. His main teaching is that mankind may come closer to God by reciting his holy name. So it's wonderfully presented, that journal about Swami actually. So this is where, Prabhupada looking very grave. One second, I will show some pictures here. Because simply reading, sometimes we may get sleep or we may get bored. So I put some pictures. Okay. So this is the last one recap, we did it. So despite the, so these are the pictures there, you can find out when you search in the Google pictures from Bovare, where during Prabhupada's time, 1966. Despite the fact that the Swami came to America to seek out the root of godless materialism, a disease, he said, that has already enveloped India. He is a realistic man. If there is any place on earth with money to build a temple, it is here. The Swami wishes to found in America an international society for Krishna consciousness, which will be open for anyone, including women. Actually, that time Prabhupada was planning to open a center, international society to register there. So this is what the grant was mentioning, that because America is a rich country, so where a lot of money was there that time, in India being called as a poor country, though actually not poor. So Prabhupada mentions many times, but materially it was poor actually. So America was very rich materially. That is why he wants to combine them, like, by our spirituality, Indian spirituality, Vedic culture, and American money together, we can make wonders. So Prabhupada always used to say, like, like one blind man, one layman, like that, like Americans, they're blind people, and we don't have money, so we are layman, like that. He compared, so the, if the blind man can carry a layman, like, so that he can guide him, and so like that. So Prabhupada did. So he was successful in that manner actually. So let us continue from there. So this is what we read it, despite the fact the Swami came to America Sikh. The article had been written by Howard Smith. The Howard Smith has written this article. He had first heard of the Swami by a phone call from a contact who had told him of an interesting holy man from India living in a loft in the Bowery. Go there anytime. So someone suggested, Sri Sri Radha Madhav ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Sudarshan ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So someone told him on phone call, there is a Indian Swami is giving wonderful lectures there. So this is what he was mentioning. Howard Smith in a loft. He's always there. Okay, yeah. He told him, go there anytime. Howard's contact told him. He's always there. I think you will find it fascinating. I believe he is about to start a major religious movement. So this is what registering International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So that is what is one of his acquaintance friend told him. Then Howard Smith. So I went down there and went upstairs into this very funky artist loft. There are so many artists, no? So they used to play for Hare Krishna mantra when Prabhupada used to tell, okay, come bring all your instruments, let's do kirtan. Because those times people are very fond of music, especially the Americans. There were carpets all over the place, old and worn out. So, and a lot of people sitting around in various kinds of hippie garb. Plus what I think they must have thought was Indian garb. Most of them were sitting alone around the room, facing the wall, like they had nothing to do with each other. They were sitting cross-legged, and each one seemed to be doing something different. Nobody paid any attention to me when I walked in. Okay. Actually, they are waiting Prabhupada, so they must be sitting. So Prabhupada will come and give a class. So they are sitting that side. So this Howard Smith went inside. So okay, I saw shoes lined up, and I thought maybe I am surprised to take off my shoes because shoes were there. Generally, Westerners, they don't remove shoes, right? They go even church everywhere. I think they go with shoes. But where we have a culture that we remove shoes, etc., outside the temple, even any religious places, even in house also earlier, never used to walk with this one. No Western culture came in India. Of course, some parts of the country, it is cold, so they have to wear some shoes or chappal-like thing. So, of course, north, when you go the very cold winter time, they have, of course, they use it only within the house inside. So, but outside thing, they don't go take into inside. So I saw shoes lined up, and I thought maybe I am supposed to take off my shoes. But nobody said anything to me. So I walked around the edge of the carpet, looking for somebody to pay attention to me. I wondered what was going on, and I didn't want to interrupt anybody because they all seemed deep into whatever kind of prayers they were doing. Okay, I think they are doing some prayers, maybe chanting, maybe. In the back of the loft, I noticed a little curtain, an Indian Madras type of curtain, and so I decided I would peer into that area. I looked in, and there was the Swami Bhaktivedanta sitting there, cross-legged in saffron garments, with the markings on his forehead and nose and his hand in the bead bag. Even though he looked like the real thing, he seemed more approachable, and I said, hello, and he looked up. I said, Swami Bhaktivedanta? And he said, yes. Prabhupada's voice, you say, yes, he will say, is typical, very, very sound. He said, yes. Bhaktivedanta, and he said, yes. I said, I am Howard Smith. I was expecting to sit down, so I said, excuse me. So Prabhupada must have told him to sit. Excuse me, then he said, I have to take off my shoes. So I think he was going with the shoes, so yeah. And he said, why do you want to take off your shoes? Okay, he's trying to take off. Prabhupada says, why do you want to take off shoes? So he said, maybe you can wear. I said, I don't know. I saw all the shoes out there. And he said, I didn't ask you to take off your shoes off. So Prabhupada says, okay, I'm not asking you to take off shoes, okay, of course. I said, what are all those people out there doing? And he said, I don't know, and they don't know what they are doing. I am trying to teach them, and they seem to be misunderstanding me. They are very confused people. Prabhupada is mentioning. Of course, here also we can see so many confused people because of the mercy of Prabhupada. We are here right place. So otherwise, maybe we were also like that. And then we sat and talked, and I liked him a lot right away. I mean, I would meet a lot of other Swamis, and I didn't like them too much. And I don't think it is fair to lump them all together and say, those Swamis in India, because he was very, very basic, and that is what I seemed to like about him. He not only made me feel at ease, but he seemed very open and honest, like he asked my advice on things. He was very new in the country. So Prabhupada is very accommodative, so he understood people. Prabhupada studied people's mind, so he knows how to take care of each, kis ko kaise, behave karna kisi se. So Prabhupada, he was doing like that. So he got impressed the way, because that is how the real leaders, real preachers, they do. They take, very personal care, each and everyone. Then only one gets attached. Otherwise, it is just a very normal thing, is a common sort of thing. Some people may not like it, but they're like that. There are some gurus in ISKCON also, you can see they are like that, like Prabhupada, many of them actually. Because I also seen like Bhakti Swami Maharaj, whenever he is giving classes, people think that he is talking to individually, like Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. There are so many Maharaj, Lokanath Maharaj. There many are they giving. It is a common. They will giving a class. But whenever they see anybody, they are talking to individually. Because they are the agents of Paramatma. Like Paramatma is there in everyone's heart. There is a individual Paramatmas there everywhere. So that is how all these Prabhupada disciples, they are also wonderful. They like, so whenever they interact with people, they interact with everyone. How they have to interact with each and everyone, every individual. So accordingly, they used to, they behave like sometimes like a small child. They talk with small children, and the children goes there, they make him to sit on their lap, and they will, I seen even Bhakti Swami Maharaj many times when I went to his quarters. Of course, devotees used to come, their children, maybe other gurus also. So they used to, sometimes they used to ask them to write, letters. I have seen once Maharaj. So, उनके साथ लिखवाते थे, okay, make. I used to teach them, So many things they used to do. So they used to go to that level and talk to them, When the top people, they will go to that level, because they have such a dynamics, they can do that. That is how they attract many people, That is how people get connected. Like especially when Prabhupada made such a huge movement, such a huge movement, there is no country that there is no ISKCON, even Pakistan, Bangladesh, any place. So that is how, because they are the agents of Krishna. That is how they have such a quality and characteristics, features they have. I thought his ideas stood a good chance of taking hold, because he seemed so practical. Yeah, that is what actually makes one has to be very practical, not like that. There are so many organizations. I mean, they have so many rules. This one, that one, that one. But it should be practical. Prabhupada has given us very simple, practical way to deal with. The total whole program from the morning. So every program is very practical. Who can do it. Of course, Prabhupada, for the Kali Yuga point of, so he has given them only 16 rounds, especially when initially we are supposed to do 64 rounds. In the Western country, when first Prabhupada said 64 rounds, when they are doing 64 rounds, they went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we are not able to do 60, we cannot do anything. If we are not doing 64 rounds, sitting and doing, we can't do anything, we can't do any seva. Okay, do it 32 rounds. Okay, when do 32 rounds. So after some time also they felt it is difficult to do 32 rounds. Then they again went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, even 32 also were feeling good. Then he said, okay, 16, no more minimum. So 16, fix. So he's fixed it. Then people will ask, so, but Prabhupada mentioned later, this 16 rounds is only for Western people, not for us. For your information, it is not for us. It's only for Western people. It's very difficult to do it. Okay. So he clearly mentioned. Someone said Prabhupada made it only 16. No, Prabhupada 16 made only for Westerners. Otherwise, it is. If someone asked Prabhupada, is it where it is written in Bhagavad Gita? You have to do 16 rounds, isn't it? No, it is not written in Bhagavad Gita 16, but it is written Kirtaniya Sadahari, it is written. So you do every day, the whole day. so like that, So Prabhupada is very practical. We are given as a, bonus, what is it? Discount, So I thought, okay, this we read it. Then he said, several people had told him that the voice would be a very good place to be written up, and that basically it would reach the kind of people who already perhaps had a learning or interest in what he was preaching. And I said that I thought he was correct. He asked me if I had read any books or knew anything about Indian culture, and I said no, I didn't really. We talked a little, and he explained to me that he had these books in English that he had already translated in India, and he handed those to me and said, if you want more background, you can read this. So he has exchanged those books. He wanted to, if you want to read more, he asked him to read those things which he has translated. It was obvious to me that I was not talking to some fellow who had just decided that he had seen God and was going to tell people about it. He seemed to be an educated man, which more than myself, actually. So that he was thinking that he's telling Prabhupada is more, is commenting that, So because the spiritual education is really, much higher than any material education. That is why, when someone able to study Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they're much higher than even in ordinary, even MBBS or engineering or chartered accounts, Like Prabhupada used to handle finance, he used to handle everything, he has handled everything. Like you can, ISKCON gurus also you can see what they studied, but still they're handling, all these aspects. Of course, now they have so many helping hands who studied in IITs, etc. So they're all coming. So once Radhanath Maharaj was mentioning, like, he was very funnily telling one class, like, some IIT, so he's doing this service, this IIT person doing this, and so IIT person is doing dishwashing. This IIT person is doing this one, like, I am a college dropout, they come to me to take my suggestions. So like that, so if you have the spiritual education, this material education is nothing, So that is why, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says one of the sloka, I think 7th chapter, 7.2 sloka, Jnanam teham savijnanamidam vakshyami aseshataha yajnatva bhuyo anyat jnatavyam avasishyate. Arjuna, now I give you this knowledge, with Jnana and Vijnana ki saath, I give you this knowledge. Once you know this, there is nothing else for you to know, So that is like that, once you have the spiritual education, so nothing like earlier days, how people, they don't have any engineering colleges, universities. They only used to study only all this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, even at home ladies, Matajis, Prabhus, everybody goes to Gurukulas. They used to read only these things. They did wonders, Okay. He explained everything I wanted to know. The significance of what he was wearing, the mark on his forehead, the bead bag, and I liked all his explanations. Everything was very practical. Then he talked about temples all over the world, and he said, well, we have got a long way to go, but I am very patient. So Prabhupada mentioning, he has explained what is this tilaka, what is bead bag. So explained him also all those things, because they are all curious. Even here also many people will ask, what is there in your hand, what is that? Sometimes we show them, there is a mala like. So Prabhupada is mentioning, he explained all the things. So he understood very practically. Prabhupada explained, what is the significance of all these things. Then he was talking about building temples, and also he's telling, I'm very patient to wait. So it is a long way to go and build the temples there in America. Then Prabhupada had hope for what the Voice article had referred to as his American church. They call church temple, no? So we call church temple, they call church. There was life in his lectures and kirtans. Okay, so he was mentioning, so a lot of kirtans are there. So probably he's comparing what happens in church and what happened here. And at least he was acquiring a small regular following. But from India, there was no hope. He had continued corresponding with Sumati Morarji, his god brothers and the Indian central government, but their replies had not been encouraging. So Prabhupada writing letters for financial aid to build a temple, because he wrote to letter to Sumati Morarji, then and also his god brothers and some government agencies, central government, etc. is writing to seek funds so that he can build a temple in America. So in the faith that Padampat Singhania would agree to his plans for a Krishna temple in Manhattan and finance its construction. Prabhupada had petitioned New Delhi to sanction the release of foreign. So there is someone wanted to give money from India, this Singhania, Padampat Singhania wanted to give money, but how can you take money from India to there, So nowadays people will criticize a lot of money going from India to America. So how money goes to America? Who will send how money goes there, Anyway, a lot of videos are there on that explanations. But that time someone wants to give money, this Singhania, but how to take it to America? So it needs permission, government's permission to do that, to what is that, exchanging, from Indian rupees to American dollars, I think those days, how many? 4 rupees, 7 rupees something. I will show you, I have put a slide. So finance its construction. Prabhupada had petitioned New Delhi to sanction the release of foreign exchange. He had written to the Reserve Bank of India, New Delhi, I want to establish cultural center, and for this I wish to get some exchange from India. I think there are good prospects all over the world for propagating the culture of how to love God in these days of forgetfulness. So Prabhupada is very, very diplomatic writing. It's not just I'll construct only, it's in culture, Indian, because if you say God means, hey, come back, there are so many temples in India, so they will say. So he's written culture. We want to expand our culture, Indian culture, but in the name of God. So Prabhupada nicely, sentenced that, okay. A month later, the Indian bank had advised him to resubmit his request. So they asked him to resubmit his request through the Indian embassy in Washington to the finance minister of the Indian central government. Prabhupada had complied, okay, he did that. And another month had passed with no word from the government. So that Indian Reserve Bank of India written him to you get it through that Washington, in America, the embassy, through embassy you send it with the required papers, whatever it is. Prabhupada did that, but he didn't get any reply. One of his god brothers had written that Swamiji should come back. So in fact, he has written some letters to his god brothers also. One of his god brothers had written that Swamiji should come back to India and work personally to get the government sanction. Okay, he asked one of his god brother to help in this regard, okay, to get these funds, follow up with Indian government. But they said, we don't have time to, you come yourself and do all these things. So, but Prabhupada didn't want to leave America now. He wrote to Sumati Muraji. So I think Sumati Muraji written. So anyway, so he didn't want to leave the American to come back to India. I am trying to avoid the journey to India and again coming back, especially for the reason that I am holding at the above address classes thrice a week and training some American youth in the matter of Sankirtana and devotional service to the Lord. Some of them are taking the lessons very sincerely, and in the future they may be very good Vaishnavas according to the rigid standards. Okay, so Prabhupada has written a letter to, I think, Sumati Muraji, because they are asking to come back to India. But he has written, I am giving nice classes, etc. People are following. So naturally, so that movement will be affected once Prabhupada goes back. One day, a curious, unsolicited correspondent wrote to Prabhupada from India. His name was Mukti Brahmachari, introducing himself as a disciple of one of Prabhupada's god brothers and reminding Prabhupada of their past slight acquaintance. Mukti wrote of his eagerness to join Prabhupada in America. Certainly, Prabhupada still had hopes for getting assistance from his god brothers in India. This mission is not simply one man's work. Therefore, he invited Mukti to come to America and asked him to request his guru to cooperate by working personally to secure government sanction for the release of foreign exchange. Mukti wrote back, reaffirming his eagerness, but expressing doubt that his spiritual master would give him permission. Mukti thought he should first come to the United States and then request his spiritual master's help. Prabhupada was annoyed and he sent an immediate reply. So he's thinking because he's thinking his guru will not agree, So first come to America. How he'll come to America without his guru's permission? So Prabhupada got annoyed. Is preaching in America my private business? Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati wanted to construct some temples in foreign countries as preaching centers of the message of Srila Rupa Raghunatha. And I am trying to do this in this part of the world. The money is ready and the opportunity is open. If by seeing because money is ready, because that Singhania wanted to give money, but only thing, we have to exchange, to bring as a foreign exchange approval is needed. If by seeing the finance minister, this work can be facilitated, why should we wait? Because you cannot talk with your Guru, Maharaj, about cooperation, because you are afraid your journey will be cancelled. Please do not think in that way. Take everything as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's work, and try to do the needful. Do not think for a moment that my interest is different from that of your Guru Maharaj. We are executing the will of Srila Prabhupada according to our own capacity. Combined effort would have been for us. So here Prabhupada telling about Prabhupada means his Guru is that time. But now our Prabhupada's name was not Prabhupada that time. He was only, they used to call Swami. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami that time. Later they have given the title Prabhupada. So that time Prabhupada referring about his Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So his mission only we are trying to do. Don't think I am doing differently. So he is very annoyed, written back this letter. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami were two leading disciples of Lord Chaitanya in 16th century. Mukti submitted, so maybe getting little continuously, maybe boring. Let me show some slides. So This is what we read, the Bowery. So there is a indications, this is the Bowery Road. What is that? Can you read? Another name of the town? Huh? Bowery is there, another horizontal, anything? Huh? Okay. So these are the indicators were there, Bowery to go this side. Like Rajendra Nagar this side, Maidipatnam, like, there is a indicators here. So, of course, in Hyderabad, you hardly see any signs actually. So this is what Prabhupada was sitting very grave, wearing the chadar and, in Bowery. The Prabhupada connection, Srila Prabhupada and the Bowery sitting there, So, this we studied, this we read actually, this small, just I want to make interesting to slide. So I am trying to avoid the journey to India and again coming back, especially for the reason that now we read this one. So some of the pictures where Prabhupada there in Bowery, so that places. So when you get next time opportunity to go to New York, so can visit Bowery and matchless gift areas and loft, all those places. Actually, many of the places I think our people have acquired, I think, ISKCON. So, there is a board also in there. Prabhupada did the first kirtan in that park. What is that? Tompkins Square. So, yeah, there is a board also now, right? So writing Prabhupada, due to existing conditions of foreign exchange stringency, it is not possible for the government of India to accede to your, Prabhupada got a reply actually, to your request for release of foreign exchange. You may perhaps like to raise funds from residents in America. So it is the letter, so asking to raise funds locally. It was confirmed Prabhupada would have to work without outside help. He would continue alone in New York City. His last letter to Mukti Brahmachari reveals his deep faith and determination. Prabhupada was very determined to make the temple there in New York. So that time foreign exchange, so how the foreign exchange rates that time to this time from 1958 to 2025. So how the dollar Indian rupees, those days 1966 we are talking about the foreign exchange. That time 7 rupees, 7.5 rupees, $1. If you want $1, you have to have 7.5 rupees. If you have 7.5 rupees, you will get $1 there. I don't know how many dollars Prabhupada was looking that time. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars. So from India, we need so many lakhs of rupees to take there to construct the temple, So that is where, today is $1 is $88.72 today. So this is how the rupee value declined. Of course, there's a lot of politics, American materialist people. So actually, yeah. So Satswarup Swami was mentioning one of his things. I'm reading from outside this Lilamrta. He is mentioning what he is telling. We have a car, but we are going to the temple and distributing books with it. Anything can be used for Krishna. Here is a rich man's son, Ford. We are giving him a little spiritual teaching, but he is happy. No divorce, can't separate half of the body. A big mansion is available here, but it is in a high crime area. So they're talking about that Bowery area. Srila Prabhupada said, get it. Prabhupada wanted, okay, get that building. We will chant Hare Krishna there 24 hours. And if a thief comes, we will say, yes, first take prasadam and then take what you want. Okay. What do we have? He said, he doesn't care about the bad neighborhood. Make the ruffians devotees. Have the owner give us the building for 5 years. I lived on the Bowery. He said, I don't know these languages. And he described how bums were urinating at the front door and lying on the street. But when he come out, they would quickly get up and let him pass, saying, yes, sir, come on, sir. He would say, that's all right. they never bothered me, he said. One uptown Jewish friend of his was horrified to hear he was going to the Bowery. So this is the pictures of Bowery. See Prabhupada sitting there with all the people there. You can see how it is. The buildings there, Bowery, how the cars going there. The buildings, high-rise buildings in the Bowery area. So Prabhupada's time in Bowery, there is someone mentioned in the one of the Back to Godhead. Just I captured here just to make this class little interesting. So Prabhupada sitting, like a lotus flower, like a garbage in the garbage. One lotus flower comes, like Prabhupada is sitting like, very pure heart, God conscious, Krishna conscious person. So he's trying to make them devotees. So arrival and housing in April 1966, after a theft at his uptown Manhattan apartment, Prabhupada was offered a place in a loft at 94 Bowery. The loft was lent to him by a follower, an artist named Haridas. Conditions. The Bowery at that time was a dangerous area known for derelicts and crime. Prabhupada often had to step over intoxicated individuals to get to his residence. Growing followers, despite the rough environment, Prabhupada began to attract a small group of young people drawn to his teachings and chanting. He would hold Bhagavat classes and kirtans in the loft. The attack, his time there was cut short when a youth under the influence of LSD attacked him, forcing Prabhupada to leave the loft. So you must be knowing this one. So how many of you watched the movie that Abhay Charan? Who watched the Abhay Charan? So you please watch Abhay Charan movie. It's about Prabhupada's life story. There is it in English is there, Hindi is there. You can YouTube. You can watch. You can type Abhay Charan. Wonderful 56 episodes, I think. So you can watch that one. You will understand better how Prabhupada struggled there. How all Westerners become devotees. So you take opportunity and watch that Abhay Charan movie. So yeah, let us continue. Relocation. With the help of his new followers, he found a new, more stable home in a storefront on the Lower East Side at 26 2nd Avenue. The move to 2nd Avenue, the move from the Bowery to, he moved, so actually there is a Bowery, there was a, someone attacked him, there was a quarrel, Prabhupada advised him to don't keep the soap on the floor, because the I don't know what is his name, you remember Prabhu? David, David was very arrogant, he was taking LSD, all these things, drug addict, so you see in the Abhay Charan, it is nicely depicted because we remember that, so how he is taking the, all those things, the process. He will tie something, he will inject this one, how he is dancing and putting lot music. Then Prabhupada comes and shouts on him, why you left soap on the floor, like, Then he says, how you are teaching like a children does. I fed up with your teaching, so something like that. He will quarrel with Prabhupada, Then he will try to attack Prabhupada. So this is how then Prabhupada has to leave that place. Then he has to call someone, phone him, They will come, they will take all his Prabhupada's, this one. Then time being they stay somewhere. Then later they bought this 26 2nd Avenue, in 26 2nd Avenue, they will rent this matchless gift, that small shop, then Prabhupada starts ISKCON there, these are all, lot of founding ISKCON. It was at his new location in a small temple called Matchless Gifts that Prabhupada officially incorporated ISKCON. So when you read that Lilamrta, we will go detail. Just instead of that, I thought of showing little, gist of that topic. Historic site. The storefront has since been meticulously restored to reflect its appearance in 1966 and reopened as a living museum in June 2000. Later, ISKCON took that, they opened as a museum in 2025, recently, allowing visitors to experience the humble beginnings of the Hare Krishna movement. So they made it a museum now. So whenever we get opportunity, go to USA, maybe Chintamani Prabhu, like whenever for office work, go to, yeah. So so we can see that one. So I didn't get opportunity, so I passed through New York, but we didn't get down in New York. So so whatever, next time when you get opportunity, let us try to go and watch. So this is a matchless gift. So the roads, etc. there. This is a matchless gift. So now we also have the matchless gift. So this is the standard name for all our books and all the articles, paraphernalia. So our name is Matchless Gifts, came from there. You see, is how is been arranged by Krishna. You see, someone is closed his shop. It is a Matchless Gifts, the shop. Now it becomes ISKCON's what is it called? Trademark, some sort of. It became standard name, Matchless Gift. So this is what some of the links actually I have made to read all these stories, all this Prabhupada, this one. Maybe we'll stop here. So it is 9 o'clock. Anything want to add something? Prabhu's, you all reading maybe a lot of books and heard about Prabhupada, want to add maybe Nityanand Prabhu or Daur Krishna Prabhu. You read of Prabhupada is part of Prabhupada, Lilamrta is part of Bhagavatam. So nice that we read one day about Mahabhagavat. Please, I request anybody can add. Otherwise, we'll stop here. We'll remember here. So somewhere we'll stop for next class. We'll tell him. So it is, what is this? We stopped here, right? Srila Prabhupada Goswami and Sri Raghunatha. Where we studied up to read? Due to existing, there is a Prabhupada received this letter. On the same day that Prabhupada received the ludicrous letter, he also received the final blow of non-cooperation from the Indian government. Second Secretary Prakash Shah of the Indian Embassy in Washington DC wrote, due to existing conditions of foreign exchange stringency, it is not possible for the government of India to accede to your request for release of foreign exchange. You may perhaps like to raise funds from residents in America. So he has closed the case. So no more foreign exchange. So it is now, it was confirmed Prabhupada would have to work without outside help. He would continue alone in New York City. His last letter to Mukti Brahmachari reveals his deep faith and determination. So this is where, so let us stop here. Maybe, so next class will start from here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.